What a win. What a win. And this is why it's a Victory Monday. Herzlich willkommen zurück auf Schalke America. I'm your host, Richard. It's just me tonight. No Jack tonight. But it's all good. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Coming off the international break, playing against Münster. How was everyone's weekend tonight? Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. I got 2 derbies to celebrate. No losses for Schalke. My football team didn't lose. They didn't play, but that's not the point. But regardless, overall, it's a good weekend. And we're heading to a holiday weekend here in the United States. So what we going to talk about tonight, 2 games. We're going to talk 4 talking points in particular. And yeah, then get on out of here. It's got a short week, at least in the States. Yeah, it is a Victory Monday. It is a Victory Monday podcast. Now you say, wait, Richard, what are you talking about? What do you mean Victory Monday? Schalke drew Münster 0-0. Yes, they did. But what do we always say? When it's a derby and it's a victory, that takes precedent over anything. Talking about Derbysieger. Yes, we are. And then we are talking about Schalke 2, Dortmund 1. We're talking about the Frauen win 2-1 in the Pokal against Dortmund. 2 goals in this one. All the goals happened in the first half, really, but Mandy Islacker is the one who kind of takes precedent in this one. And Madacek, the goalkeeper, obviously 2 standouts from the game against Dortmund. A huge victory. And we'll get to it. Why? Well, Schalke are still in the amateur league, as you know they were last year. Dortmund, they won the league last year, and they got promoted to the professional league. So they are a bunch of professionals. They get paid to do this. Well, all the Schalke Frauen, they all have jobs. They're going to class. They're doing all this and that. So it's David versus Goliath in that regard. 2 very good teams, no doubt about it. But let's get to the highlights, because why the heck not? It's the women, it's the Frauen, it's the Revierderby, it's a derby win. Let's get into it.
Den Kreis gibt's vor jedem Spiel, aber so laut war die Anfeuerung selten. Sie sind bereit, Geschichte zu schreiben. Im Achtelfinale des Westphalen-Pokals die Schalker Frauen Mandy Islacker oben in der Mitte. Im Vergleich mit
our team doing excellently this year. Can't deny it. They've been fantastic in their league this year. They've scored a boatload of goals. Mandy Islacker's got something like 25 goals this year in like 10 games. Something crazy. Team is doing excellent. And if you want to talk about our rivals, they're doing okay in the Regionalliga. They're second place, I think, currently. So they're not having a terrible season at all by any stretch. But it's all about us at this point. And this is David versus Goliath. We are David in this one. How do we do against the mighty Regionalliga opponent?
Mädels noch am Tag arbeiten mussten, in der Schule waren oder studiert haben und sich dann heute Abend getroffen haben, um das Unmögliche möglich zu machen und dieses Spiel gegen den großen Favoriten zu gewinnen. Und sie hauten sich rein von der allerersten Sekunde an und machten es dem Gegner so.
And so what the announcer just said there is like mismatch, talking about how it's a amateur team versus professional team, Dortmund professional team. It's a big mismatch in that regard. The women are doing what the men are doing. They're playing tough, physical, making it difficult for their opponents, and see what the results are. Well, we saw what the results are already. 2-1 victory.
Natürlich dann auch über Mandy Islacker, wie hier die Konter zu fahren, aber da hatte die Keeperin aufgepasst.
Dortmund's keeper ready early on.
Wurde da in dieser Szene zumindest nichts draus. Schalke überlegen in seiner Liga, in der Westfalenliga, 13 Spiele, 13 Siege. Die anderen Zweiter in der Regionalliga, also ein Häuschen höher mit der ersten Abschlusschance.
Easy save for Madacek. Madacek is a fantastic goalkeeper. She did so well for us last year, particularly the big games against Dortmund.
Langer Ball,
quality goalkeeper, no doubt about it.
Und dann den zweiten Ball gewinnen, draufgehen.
Look at the pressure here. Look at the pressure. Cause the turnover there.
Lauer Radke und Mandy Islacker machen das.
Oh, wide open. Chip.
Opladen und eine kleine historische Tat schon zum Anfang.
Question is going to be, did she do that on purpose? Did she try to chip like a Raul, or was it a missed shot? It doesn't matter. A goal is a goal. And then the Derby goal, so even better.
Die allererste Führung in einem Derby für den S04. Bisher gab es ein 0:0 an gleicher Stelle. Und 2 Auswärtsniederlagen.
I don't know, kind of looks intentional to me.
Jetzt zum ersten Mal.
Kind of looks intentional to me.
Oplan den so gewollt hat, dann war das Raoul-mäßig. Für die Spielanlage war das natürlich auch passend, denn so konnte man weiter hinten alles raushauen. Hier,
Madacek.
Dahlmann, was für eine Grätsche. Das hatte schon was von Henning Matriziani.
Great save. Relating that block to Henning Matriziani last year.
Durchgang. Der Druck war da, aber bisher war es überhaupt nicht gefährlich geworden.
Playing very defensive, we have to. It's they got a lot more possession in this one. Schumacher scores a goal. Matuszek got her hands on him, but couldn't keep that one out. Point blank shot. A lot to ask for from the goalkeeper.
Da war natürlich die Enttäuschung erstmal groß.
Still first half, by the way.
Bange machen gilt nicht. Ab nach vorne wieder stressen.
Poor clearance there. Look at that.
Klasse aufgepasst. Den Blick
Oh,
für
Islacker.
Tor. Und die braucht nur eine Chance für ein Tor. 25 Treffer in der Liga in 10 Spielen. Und auch hier macht sie ihr Tor.
Look at that. Turnover leads to a goal. Great pass there. Find the right ball all alone in front of the net.
Und dann
Keeper had no chance. No
mit
chance.
all ihrer Routine die gegnerische Torfrau. Es wird aber trotzdem noch mal gefährlich. In der eigentlich ein bisschen zu langen Nachspielzeit des ersten Durchgangs muss sich hier Nele Schmidt noch mal reinhauen.
Nele Schmidt with a great save right there. That was looking like it was going to the goal there, but
Dortmund hat optisch, glaube ich, eine gewisse Überlegenheit drin, aber ich glaube, dass wir uns sehr gut schlagen.
Durchgang
possession there, but so far good first half.
Es gab eine Flut an Eckbällen. Noch
Easy save from Matuszek.
wirklich gefährlich. Mit sowas kannst du Julia Matuszek natürlich nicht beeindrucken. Aber der Druck war die ganze Zeit da. Der BVB in Ballbesitz.
Good hard tackling. This is what is Schalke.
Und
Strong defense, strong tackling. Make it difficult on the opponent. Look at that tackle there. Islacker. Your striker's doing that.
Zum ersten Mal der Griff
That's what I'm talking about.
an den Oberschenkel. Aber noch ging es weiter für sie, nicht aber für Pauli Dahlmann. Für sie kam Charlene Klöß. Eine Ecke
A lot of pressure from Dortmund in this
lagen
one.
aber zwei Schalkerinnen am Boden. Der Schiedsrichter lässt aber weiterspielen, obwohl er eine
Two players on the pitch. Look at that. Two players down.
ist. Erst als der Ball aus ist,
No whistle.
lässt er die Betreuer, die medizinischen, auf den Platz. Und es ist eine Verletzung, die dann Folgen hat. Nele Schmidt muss.
Nyla Schmitz goes down. She's going to be substituted out. Head injury, looks like.
Radic
Hopefully nothing serious.
kommt. Später auch noch Scharinovke für Debbie Pagel. Und immer wieder die Angriffe der Gäste, immer wieder versuchen die sich durchzuspielen. Und meistens ist noch ein Bein dazwischen.
A lot of pressure here. A lot of pressure here. Good clearance. Good clearance.
Der Doppelkopfball zur Abwehr und dann der Schuss auf dem Hinterhalt. Die erste
Just
Torschuss in der 69. Minute durch Ito, die Japanerin. Und Entlastungsangriffe in Königsblau, die waren sehr selten. Laura Radke hier verpasst den Abspielpunkt für Mandy Islacker.
Holding on possession, wasting time.
Aber in den eigenen Reihen.
Good hold up.
Da kommt Jule Dahlmann inzwischen auch eingewechselt. Aber dann rutscht der Ball ins Aus.
No one there.
Immerhin, man war für
out of bounds.
jeden Ball und Zeitgewinn
Offside.
dankbar, denn der Druck ließ nicht nach. Einmal gut durchgespielt und die Chance für Enderle.
Good save by Matuszek. Look at
Julia
that.
Matuszek ist da. Enderle
Good
zweimal
save.
Torschützin beim 0:2 im Pokalfinale in der letzten Saison. Dann war für Mandy Islacker Schluss.
5 minutes
Es gab
stoppage
Nati
time.
Bollmann,
Of
der
course.
Kampffloh für die letzten 5 Minuten Verlängerung.
Whatever Derby game doesn't have lots of
Endgültig das Ding,
stoppage time.
die Sensation klar machen. Die allerletzten
Alright, this is
5
late in the
Sekunden.
game.
Die Flanke wird
Ball up.
abgefälscht. Der Ball
Bounce it
irgendwie nach
around.
links raus, nochmal in die Mitte,
Goal.
im Netz. Und dann geht Gott sei
Oh,
Dank
offsides.
der Arm hoch, die Fahne hoch.
Got lucky
Es war
there.
Abseits. Was für eine Dramatik in den letzten Sekunden. Einmal noch den Ball wegschlagen, Laura
That's
Radke,
it.
und dann ist es soweit. Der Underdog schlägt die Vollprofis.
Big
Der
win.
ist nur
Huge
gewinnt
win
zum
by the
ersten
Frauen.
Mal gegen die erste Mannschaft des BVB
Huge win
im
there.
4. Versuch.
Not only a
Und wenn man
Derby
das
win,
geschafft
but
hat, was
a
ist man
Pokal win. Knocking out an opponent, our rivals, team in a higher division. What a win. What a win. And this is why it's a victory Monday. Look at the celebration there. That's a great way. That's a great way to start the weekend off. Men didn't do it that well, but nonetheless, they got the result. Women got the result there. Good performances all the way around, but I guess, again, stand-up performances there. In particular, obviously, Mandy Islacker got the goal, game-winning goal. Julia Maracek, great saves in the game throughout. Nyla Schmidt, a great tackle on the goal line, saved the goal for sure. Overall way around, is good play by the women. Happy to see that they got that win there, especially at WP Dortmund. So unbelievable result, unbelievable. Good for them. Good for them. Now, too bad the men couldn't keep that up, right? Keep the momentum up. It was a difficult game, no doubt about it. Let's look at the game against Münster. This one was on the road. Lineups in this one, if you're looking at the home team, which is Münster, Wilhelmsen is obviously the guy, the danger man. Always gonna be, gets a lot of goals. Outside of that, I won't say that I go and all these names are household names or not. This team is, mid-table. That's a pretty good result at the moment compared to where they were last year. If you look at our lineup, in goal, Loris Karius, back three, normal, Ayhan, Katic, Kuracay. In midfield, you had Gantenbein back from suspension, Elfauzi and Schallenberg in the middle, Horat on the left because Vitaly Becker now is under suspension. Behind Silla, you had Kahneman and Valentovits. Once again, the youngster gets a start. Yeah, not a pretty decent lineup. No issues with it really. You could have gone several ways with the lineup, but I think that's a pretty safe bet to go with that one. Coming into this game, Loris Karius 6 clean sheets in 12 games. Could he keep that up? We know yes. The game ended 0-0. He gets the 7th clean sheet in 13 games. Funny statistic I heard before the game is that Schalke requested 20,000 away tickets for this game. Anybody want to take a guess at how big the stadium is in Münster? 13,000. We could have filled the stadium twice over. That's how many away fans. This has been great support that we have. So that's a pretty cool statistic to hear. But coming off the international break, it's obviously playing Münster, who were 12th at the time. The game the week before Paderborn, who's top of the table. Always when you have a game that's sandwiched in between like this, you have a risk of a trap game. This game had all the makings of a trap game. I wouldn't say the Paderborn game was much of a trap game as much as this game was for us. Playing a lowly opponent, team we think we should be able to walk over. We're Schalke, we should know better, but we think we should walk over, and so we're looking ahead maybe to Paderborn the following week. Was that the issue automatically? An interesting game to say the least. 2 offsides goal taken back. First, well, one's even offsides. It was a foul. Within the first couple minutes of the game, ball into the box. Valencevic goes up for the ball, collides somewhat with the goalkeeper Schenk. Ball goes in the net. Goal, early goal. This is what we talked about in the pre-game. Getting off to an early start. That was key for us, and they called that back. They said it was a foul against Valencevic. No goal. A little bit later in the first half, you had another goal, this time by Münster. This time offsides. That was correct call. By the slimmest of margins, it was offsides, but nonetheless, they called that offside, so no goal there. What you really saw is a lot of direct play, wing play by Münster in this one, and it made it very difficult against us. What we've seen teams that have had some kind of success against us this year is that they go on the play against the wings. They play direct ball over the top. We knew this was going to be an issue. Meyer Muslic knew that. Münster are a good possession team. They create a lot of opportunities. They create a lot of corner kicks. We would have to clog that midfield, and winning the midfield would help us win the game. Not so much saw that. First half was pretty pathetic in terms of possession. 75-25, something crazy like that in terms of possession for Münster. Loris Karius had to make at least 3 really big saves in that first half. He was huge in that first half. I mean, it would have been embarrassing had they gone in, but he literally kept them in the game. I noted within the first 30 minutes, passing percentage, Münster had something like 88% passing accuracy, while we had 55%. I got a lot better at the end of the game because the second half we're trying to get a win, especially when they got a red card and we're up a man. That was a terrible way to start the game. The pressing, or the attempts at pressing that we had, ineffective. Münster, on the other hand, their pressing was working very efficiently, working very well. It just seems like we had no way to solve Wilhelmsen. Wilhelmsen was a threat all game long, or at least while he was in there. A couple big saves I was happy to see when he left late in the middle of the second half. There was a play just before halftime. It might have been Wilhelmsen, it might have been someone else, but Bushama maybe. But there was a shot. It looked like a weak shot, but it was like a floating, like it was gonna hit the crossbar. Fell just short. Karius kind of blundered it, hit off the post and stayed out, but that could have been a costly error to us, especially how bad we were playing. If they had gone up, I would have saw very little chance that we would have came back in this one. But yeah, overall first half, it was not the greatest things in the world there. They're 1% of Schalke, he says. Münster attacked us over our weak right side. Somehow the last 2 opponents attacked over right, although Darmstadt and Karlsruhe showed our weak points, yeah. And I think that's an excellent point there, because I mentioned this probably a stream or something, that when we play these teams the second time, they're going to know our tendencies. They're going to play us a lot better. And that Darmstadt game was a perfect example where First game, we played them, we won, what, 1-0, or I forget what the scoreline was. Go to the second game, and they blew us out of the water 4-0. Did they learn our tells? Were they able to adapt that quickly, seeing us for the second time? Maybe it was a one-off for us. Defensively, we just weren't there. They showed a lot of weak points in that game. Karlsruhe as well. They showed other weak points. So both between Darmstadt and Karlsruhe, they showed different weaknesses for us that led to lots of goals. So that's something we gotta work on come the Christmas break. But Münster was using some of that direct play, wing play. Right side, I think Porat was getting torched as well. Porat didn't look good either. So both wings really struggling mightily. As Eric says, it was hard to break them down. It certainly was. They looked like they were the top of the table team, and we were a mid-table team there. Especially in that first half. That first half was atrocious. Coming out in the second half, still had no answers for Münster's play. And then we caught this moment of opportunity, an opportunity that the game was going to shift completely, right? Ball plays over the top. Someone sprung Silla on a break. Goalkeeper Schenk, he comes out, takes out Silla. Silla goes down. Straight red card. We got a man advantage now. Their goalkeeper, hadn't really had many opportunities in that game, but he's out. Here comes the back in Barons, and we're like, okay, here we go. We have an opportunity now. Take advantage of it. Did we? No, absolutely did not. Up until this point, still not running any decent shots. Finally, I talked about this too during the stream. Musa Silla, despite having the blonde hair, he seemed a disappearing act. I didn't see him at all in the game until about the hour mark, where he attempted this audacious bicycle attempt. Not a bad shot, honestly, but that was like the first time you really heard anything about Silla in the game. It's not all his fault. He didn't have the service, neither did Karaman. One of my talking points for victory was Karaman and Silla had to step up in this game. 1.75 goals allowed per game by Münster. Those two had to be key for us, and those two were non-existent really, and a lot of it has to do with the service. Karaman did a lot better. He's a very good dribbler. You saw that throughout the game. And then finally, with about 15 minutes to go, we finally get our best opportunity. Ron Schallenberg, of all people, he's pressing up, does a lovely cross across the box, finds Keenan Karaman back door, great header, heads it the opposite way. The backup goalkeeper Barons, who made a lot of good saves in the second half, makes an excellent save on the Karaman, keeps the ball out. I thought that was it right there. Great save by him. Great header, great save. Kudos to Barons on that play right there. We didn't really have many shots after that. I think the 86 was the next probably great opportunity where Porat had an in-swinger cross that found Bachmann, but it went over the bar. And then in stoppage time, there was a play where ball finds its way to Musa Silla in the box. Great first touch to kind of settle the ball down. Goes to take a shot, and Barons makes a fantastic save yet again. But outside of that, where was our opportunity there? As it says in the chat, our phantom striker now in camouflage with penalty spot on the head. It did not help. He was invisible again. Scored only in 3 matches and 4 times, 1 assist. Yeah. Musa Silla's struggles continue. He had that one stretch where he scored a boatload of goals, but 3 goals in 4 matches, and plus the assists, like he mentions. But other than that, he's been a ghost. And in the past, we've had Tarota doing the same thing, but he would score goals at least. That year, he had 30 goals. He was quiet for good parts of the game, and then shows up and scores a goal or 2 goals at the end of the game. You're like, that's all he needs. Silla's not doing that at the moment. Now, he's not getting the service either. I think that's also part of the problem here. But all the way around, not a good performance. I think the XGs, if you look at Bundesliga.com, is little flattering for us. It says 1.41 XGs for both teams. I think that number is a little bit higher for Münster, a little bit lower for us. Honestly, it didn't feel like we had 1.41 XGs in this game. It really didn't. Pass completion, our percentage got up, went from 55 in the first half to really excellent in the second half, and rounded out to 75 overall. Yassine Bouchama had a really good game for Münster. A lot of creative plays, a lot of great passes. Really hyping up the crowd in this one. Shots, 6 apparently on target, 8 off target. It felt like we had 14 off target, other than maybe 2 or 3 on target. Look at them, 3 for 3. Wilhelmsen 2 shots. Felt like he had 6 shots. And Musa Silla says 5 shots. It felt like he had 2 at best. So yeah, Tarota more active. We had problems passing in the last third. Yeah, and I think the team that Tarota had was a much superior team offensively than this team. No doubt about it. But this team defensively is better than that team. All the way around. And again, El Fauzi running his ass off in this game, and so is our captain, Jorrit Hendricks. But ultimately, the game was a draw. Would we want to win that game against Münster? 12th place Münster? Yes. A draw was a fine result. Would we want to win? Of course, but we drew. We didn't want to lose that game. And why was it also not a bad result? It was a trap game, for sure, and it looked like a trap game. However, the team just above us, 2 points ahead of us, Paderborn, they laid a big freaking egg, 0 goals to 2 against Hanover, who's in 6th place. They lost at home, and they played like a trap game. So they lose, we draw, we gain 1 point on them. We're only 1 point behind them and down the table. It's going to be interesting next week. Obviously, if you look at the table, Elversberg, they won, so they're now within 2 points of us. And Darmstadt, they're coming back from the dead. Hertha are as well. But we're only 1 point now behind Paderborn. 12 goals for, 12 against for Paderborn. Us 16 for, 7 against. Best defense in the league by a good margin now. The next best defense is Hertha Berlin, who are playing very similar to us, by the way. It must be said. But ultimately, not a bad result. But yeah, ultimately, draw is not what we wanted. But in the grand scheme of things, it was a good result. And now we're 1 point now with Paderborn. Big Topspiel coming up this weekend. It's a Friday game as well. Black Friday here in the United States. So it'll be interesting to see how that game turns out. Maybe we just laid an egg to throw Paderborn off, and maybe they're on a little bit of a skid here, and we catch them by surprise. I don't expect many goals in this game. 2 very good defensive teams. Not much is going to happen. 0-0 would be an okay score. Obviously, we want to win the game. We win, it shows great intention for us. I don't think a loss is the end of the world. And the draw, obviously, is more than likely at this point. But some talking points from the Münster game. And feel free to chime in the chat with some of these talking points. The 1% Schalke says, we see no development. The others are improving, only 2 wins behind. Our overperformance +6. Yeah, the only consistency for us is our defense. That's developing, I think, all the way around. Our pressing has been static. Our attack is not improved whatsoever. So here's my first talking point. Tactical and mental breakdown despite the man advantage. You would thought, and again, many teams, when they have a man advantage, it goes one of 2 ways. They either don't improve in the game and it's like nothing happened, or they just dominate and obliterate their opponent. We unfortunately saw the former. It seemed like Schalke, knowing that they went up a man, there was some urgency in trying to score a goal. So much so that we ended up losing our structure tactically. Our simple game plan went out the window. We were kind of like forced complicated situations instead of working on what was worked for us in the past. We were looking for like quick passing plays, and like that's not us at all. A couple times Keenan Karaman would try to do his own thing and try to be like Lionel Messi and try to go through people. But for the most part, we were playing not Schalke football, and it showed, and it looked really bad and couldn't do nothing offensively other than a couple opportunities. And a lot of that blame is going to go to the coach, right? And he kind of even admitted it post-match, and right, he's saying like, we didn't have a clear, effective plan for playing against 10 men. We lacked creativity, no game-winning ideas, and that's what a lot of people are talking about. And it has this question of other things, which we'll get to, but in these situations, first of all, you got to prepare for being all situations, including being up a man or down a man. But you looked at the possession, it seemed like when Münster went down a man, they had still had better the possession. Am I wrong? Am I remembering this wrong? Münster looked like they still had a lot of possession, still creating a lot of chances in our end. It's like we threw ourselves up from our game plan offensively, which threw us off defensively. Yes, we were still strong, did not break. But attacking wise, it was like, what are we doing? We had no ideas. No ideas. It says many fouls, again 20, 7 to 5 yellow cards in the game against 10. 3 yellow cards when playing against 3. We foul, gets tricky, still get away with it. Also, so many attempts. Yeah, 68 possession when we're playing 11 versus 11. Yeah, and 11 versus 10, I felt like it got a little bit closer, obviously, because we were going to get more possession, but it felt like Münster were still more dangerous of the 2 teams when they had 10 men and we had 11. Not good at all. And that goes back to Jack and I have talked about numerous times, is that the lack of creativity is eventually going to catch up to us, right? Remember we had a similar situation with Tedesco back in the day, and same thing defensively. We were strong, and we saw the rest of the season out. Ended up in 2nd place in that year behind Bayern, but the next year it was evident our luck had run out. We can't just live and die by the set pieces and hoping to win defensively 1-0 every game. Yeah, we can do it for so long, but at some point you need to score some goals. And when you play these teams a second time, or with Darmstadt case, a third time, they're going to remember what went well and what didn't work well and try to exploit you in weak areas. Darmstadt's already got a taste of that. I guarantee you when we play some of these top teams in the second half, Paderborn we're going to see in a second, but Elversberg, Darmstadt, Hanover, Kaiserslautern, even Hertha, they're going to have a different look to them offensively, and they're going to make it difficult for us. Now, we are a good team defensively. Loris Karius is playing out of his mind. He was arguably the man of the match. Not arguably, he was hands down man of the match. But tactically and mentally, it seemed like we were missing something. Maybe it was a trap game. Who knows? Though I saw a crazy statistic where when Vitaly Becker and Kurchak play on the left-hand side and we give up 2 goals, we're undefeated. Somebody have to fact check that, but I saw that online. Didn't bother checking it myself, but it was a pretty interesting statistic if that's true. All right, let's go to talking point number 2. VAR and referee controversy. The goal or not, and then the red card. We're going to talk about the VAR first. That's number 1. Within a couple minutes of the game, we score a goal. Valentevitz in the box in front of Schenk. A somewhat collision. Ball goes in the back of the net. We think goal. VAR doesn't really know what to do, but eventually they say, no, it's interference against the goalkeeper. Foul. No goal for us. I'm sorry, what? How is that a foul? I wish I had this pulled up somewhere. But that was not a foul by any stretch of the imagination. I understand giving goalkeeper room, giving credit, but what are you talking about? That was not a foul. That was no way in what shape whatsoever a foul. And I don't know what they're thinking there. I understand protecting the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper came out at Valentevitz. Valentevitz just jumped up, hit him in the head or back of the neck, and then the goalkeeper misses and goes in. And they call that a foul. Like, get the hell out of here. VAR was okay. We were always attacking during corners. Keeper touched the ball and it was attacked. That is a foul. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. Now, one, which I agree with the referee, was the red card. I saw chatter online where when Schenk made that foul on Silla, it should not have been a red card. It should have been a yellow card, if anything. Is what people online were saying. I tend to disagree. No, I don't. I disagree with that. That was as clear a red card as you can. Only way it's going to be clear is if you had what Alexander Nubel did many years ago and kick somebody right in the chest. That was the only way it's going to be more of a clear red card. But yeah, as one percenter says, that's a clear red card. Took him out. Last person defending. He would have been on a breakaway had he got past the keeper. That was a straight red card. I don't know. And these are some Schalke fans. I heard some saying that it was a yellow card. But I don't understand that controversy there. But would we have been better off with a yellow card though? Now maybe that is the argument. Maybe that's the argument. Not that it was a red card. It's a clear red card. But had they given him a yellow card, it would have stayed 11 versus 11. We wouldn't have gone out of our normal structure. Not that we were playing well to begin with, but maybe, just maybe, we would have been able to get our stuff together and eventually wear them down enough where we would get a goal by hook or by crook. Nubel red card could not be clear. Yeah, no, for sure. The Nubel one was as red as you can get. Only way you get more red cards is for Eric Cantona. You kicking a fan in the crowd. Right? That's the only thing more clear than Alexander Nubel's red card. But, for the argument's sake, a yellow card would have been better for us, maybe. And they stayed 11 versus 11. But then again, if you look at statistics leading up to that point, as mentioned in the chat, they were dominating possession. It was something 72%, I think you said in the chat. 72% possession. So I don't know. It's a lose-lose at this point, right? 11 versus 11, they were outpossessing us. And Karius had to stand on his head. 11 versus 10, they had less opportunities, and we still couldn't do anything with it. So, I don't know. I think the debate about the first goal or non-goal was more fun to argue about. The offside goal by them, it was a fraction. It was offsides. It was offsides. The first goal by Münster, the goal disallowed by Münster. But it was a fraction. It was off. The offside goal needs to be changed in general. Not that I want to see people score against us. Could have, would have. We would have to play against 11 Münster players. It would have been a loss. Yeah, based on how the game's going, I think you're right. Talking point number 3 of 4, right? The Loris Karius paradox. Now, Loris Karius, man of the match. He literally saved us from losing this game. Three huge saves in the first half. I forget how many saves he had in the second half. He came up huge in this game. The defense, they're strong. Karius made some big saves, great reaction saves. But I think, obviously, the big saves that happened before the red card, everyone's talking about how the defense, the goalkeeper earned the win. Again, though, the win lies in the attack, and the lack of that, what happened? Loris Karius did very well. However, all this praise by Karius in the defense, how well the defense is playing, it's covering up a glaring weakness. And that weakness is our attack, it's our lack of scoring. How do we play 11 versus 11? Not well at all. So this is kind of what Jack and I have been talking for a long time now, is that, like, yes, the defense and the goalkeeper are playing out of their minds this year. No wonder the defenders are constantly being in the kicker best 11. It's because they play damn good football defensively. And Karius is making fantastic saves. He doesn't always get a lot of attention because we don't give up many shots at times on goal. But when we do, he makes big saves, like he did in this game. And so, like, we're giving Karius and the defense all this praise, and it's taken away from the glaring weakness, which is we still cannot score the damn ball. Our final third is pathetic, which went to my first talking point. And we need to find a way between now and the start of the Rückrunde, figure out a way to create some wing play, some better direct play through the middle. Alpha Owlsy and Schallenberg are doing a great job, but we're still not creating near enough plays. They said 2 saves by Karius. I rated 3. Maybe didn't get the one that I saw. I thought about. They didn't give him a save or whatever, but he's there when we need him, and it takes away the attention from the offense, which is struggling. Obviously, we're hammering the attack in this game, in this podcast, but Oldway in general, it's like a good problem to have because you love having a good defense and goalkeeper, but then the offense is lacking. Now, I'd rather have it that way than in the past, like last year, especially when Gerard's was here. Our attack was pretty good. We could score 3-4 goals a game. The problem was defensively, the goalkeeper, we couldn't stop shit, and then we would give up more goals than we would score. So I think we're in a better situation now than we were last year by a good margin. Do you feel more comfortable winning 1-0 or losing 4-3? Both suck. If you're a Schalke fan, this is what we have to get used to, no matter what. This is how it is. But nonetheless, I think we're in a better situation now in defense. Thank goodness Meyer Muslic has cleaned that up, and now it's a reason why we are where we are on the table, because that defense and the goalkeeper are doing fantastic things. Now, with all that said, it brings me to my last talking point. We have strong, stellar defense, and our attack is lacking. Does that start giving doubts about our promotion opportunities, our promotion chances? Because right now we're good. We're in second place. The true test will be when we start facing some of these teams again, and what kind of team we have. We'll have to develop, as said in the chat. Our attack has to develop if we want any chance to stay in the promotion race. Defense is going to have to obviously do their job, but we need to score some goals. We can't win every game 1-0, 2-0. Would love to win, but win that comfortably. And our games are not comfortable at all. They're holding our seat, gripping our hair. My hair was pure black when the season started. Now it's turning gray. So it's difficult. It's missed opportunities that we need to capitalize on. Silla, Karaman, whomever's in the attack, Lasma, Remmert, I don't care. We gotta start taking our chances. We have so many chances that we just leave there in the 6-yard box, or we miss wide. We need to start putting the ball on target, force the keeper to make a save, and look for a rebound. We do it okay at times, not nearly enough. The service needs to improve, and I don't know how you improve it. Does it come at the expense of the defense? No, Muslic won't allow that. But you got to find a way with that high line to make it happen. I don't know what the answer is. They got to figure it out. I know they're looking for some other. Muslic is trying to bring some other Bosnians into the team, some strikers. I don't know if that's an answer. I think we need to get our wing play better and our midfield play better to help facilitate the ball to the Sillas and the Carmans of the world. Because without that service, our chances are going to be like it is now, non-existent. Yeah, it says, it's not only the defense, we are fouling away dangerous attacks of our opponents. Yeah, and I think this is like live and die by the sword, right? Muslic, this is what he does. All his teams have always done this. Hard tackles, like get lots of yellow cards, and then eventually They'll sub out some of the players who are holding a yellow card, and they just win by the skin of their teeth, or draw by the skin of their teeth. We've seen that every game. I think we've had the majority of the fouls in the game. We had the majority of the yellow cards in the game. We've already lost Gantebein to yellow card accumulation. We already lost Vitaly Becker. Next one, I believe, is Kulichai, or maybe he just recently served his. We have a lot of guys teetering on the edge there. We're going to keep getting yellow cards. We're going to probably lead the league in yellow cards, I would imagine, by the end of the season. But this is Meyer Muchis' style. It's press, it's aggressive, it's fouling, hard tackling, yellow cards. Is it going to work long term? Is it sustainable? I don't know. The guys at Calcio Berlin talked about this as well. They have the same fears that we do. It's working for now. That's all we'll say. We are losing goodwill. Refs understand our game, same as in Brugge and Plymouth. Eventually, the refs will be like, all right, enough's enough. Accumulate those yellows, turn them into reds, so on and so forth. So, all right. Well, that's it. I talked a lot longer than I thought I was going to talk. Next game is against Paderborn Topspiel this Friday. I'm going to say what I say every Friday game, just to keep consistent, but I hate Friday games. So far, so good. This is the Topspiel, though. I don't have work, but I will be traveling, so I will not be able to watch the game live. Yeah, I can watch the game live, I think. Anyway, as 1% of Schalke says, it's good still to be second. Yeah, absolutely. We had a much better weekend than Paderborn did, for sure. Schalke as a whole had a great weekend. Victory Monday. The women won the Revierderby. That was first and foremost. They won the Pokal round of 16 game. But the men didn't do badly. We didn't lose any points, or we didn't lose. We got a point. And we're 1 point closer to Paderborn now. So, big Topspiel. We will learn a lot about this team. You hate Friday games and don't have to travel in rush hour. Terrible. Yeah. Woe is me. Life sucks for me, doesn't it? Touche. But yeah, it's going to be we'll learn a lot about Paderborn and about us in this game coming up. Real quick, I want to see what the rest of the games are that weekend to see how it looks. Let's go. Fixtures. All right, match day 14. All right, so games coming up this weekend. Ooh, man, talk about Topspiels. We got, I'll share the screen here just so everyone can see it. All right, we got Hanover against Karlsruhe. Big game there. Obviously, we got the Topspiel with number 1 versus number 2. Holstein Kiel, Hertha, Fürth and Bochum, Braunschweig and Kaiserslautern, Magdeburg, Nuremberg, Elversberg and Darmstadt. Another big game there. That's number 3 against number 4. Bielefeld, Münster, Dresden, and Dusseldorf. So, 3 huge games, 3 huge Topspiels. We have the number 1, obviously, because 1 versus 2. But it should be a fun weekend. We will learn a lot about the Zweite Liga and intentions of all these clubs in the top 6 come the end of the season, or come the end of the weekend, I should say. So let's keep up the good luck. Knock on wood. The Fridays continue to roll like they have been, and we'll see how where we are next Monday. No streaming of Football Manager this Friday. Like I said, I'll be on the road, but I'll try to have something in by weekend. End of weekend, so we'll see. But nonetheless, enjoy your week. For those in the United States, enjoy the holiday weekend. Happy Thanksgiving. And for everyone else, yeah, we'll catch you guys soon. Keep watching and supporting those women. Look out.